Namaskar, good evening. You are watching Rajya Sabha Television. I am Smriti Rastogi with News Tonight. Let's begin the bulletin with the top headlines. Voting concludes for second phase polls to 95 seats across 11 states and 1 union territory. 66% polling recorded till 6 p.m. Puducherry sees highest polling percentage of 78%. West Bengal 75%. Voters seal electoral fates of Union Ministers Sadanand Gowda, Jitendra Singh, Jwalo Ram, Pon Radhakrishnan in second phase. Former Prime Minister Deve Gowda, former Chief Ministers Farooq Abdullah, Ashok Chavan, Sushil Shinde and Virappa Moily, Hema Malini, Raj Babbar, Kanimuri, Karti Chidambaram, other big candidates in this phase. Second phase elections end for 35 seats to Odisha Assembly. Political fortunes of 244 candidates, including Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik, decided in this phase. By-elections also held for 18 seats in Tamil Nadu Assembly. Campaigning for the third phase of polls intensifies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses rallies in Gujarat and Karnataka, targets the JDS Congress government in Bagalkot. Congress President Rahul Gandhi also addresses rallies in Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat. And India suspends trade across the LOC with Pakistan starting tomorrow after probe agencies find the route was being misused to smuggle illegal weapons, drugs and fake currency. Action taken on the basis of reports. And first, all the election news. "66% of overall turnout was recorded in the second phase of voting for 95 constituencies in 11 states and Puducherry on Thursday. Puducherry saw a high voter turnout of 78% for its single Lok Sabha seat. 74.3% voting was recorded in the inner Manipur Lok Sabha seat. An average 62% polling was recorded in 10 constituencies of Maharashtra. An overall voter turnout of 62.30% was recorded for voting in 8 seats in Uttar Pradesh. 71% polling was recorded in Chhattisgarh's Kanker, Rajnandgaon and Mahasamund Lok Sabha seats amid tight security. All 3 seats have strong Naxal presence. The 5 seats in Bihar saw an estimated 62.52% voting. In West Bengal, around 76% polling was reported for 3 parliamentary constituencies of Jalpaiguri, Raiganj and Darjeeling. The election in the state saw isolated incidents of violence, road blockades, bombings and police firing, with no reports of anyone getting hurt. 5 Lok Sabha seats in Assam recorded a voter turnout of 73.32% during the second phase of polling. In Jammu and Kashmir, nearly 65% polling was recorded in Udhampur Lok Sabha constituency. While the turnout was low in Srinagar seat with nearly 15% voters exercising their franchise. No untoward incident was reported during polling in the valley, which was held amid tight security due to militant threats and a boycott call by separatists.
Size of electorate for the second phase of poll held today stood at 15.8 crores, of which women voters were about 7.8 crores. And the number of persons with disabilities stands to be 8.45 lakhs for the second phase. Today we conducted our elections from 1.76 lakh polling stations.
Meanwhile, in Odisha, 64% voters exercised their franchise in the second phase of polling for the 5 Lok Sabha and 35 assembly seats. In the second phase, around 76 lakh voters were eligible to cast their ballot. Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik is seeking 5th term and is contesting from 2 assembly seats there. The results for 2019 Odisha Assembly elections will be declared on 23rd of May. Tamil Nadu registered 63.73% voter turnout for 38 out of 39 Lok Sabha seats. This after polling for the Vellore Lok Sabha seat was cancelled earlier this week. The by-poll to 18 assembly constituencies held along with the Lok Sabha polls saw 67.08 voting percentage. Take a look at the detailed report sent by our correspondent Rajat Ken.
Chennai woke up to a breezy morning and brisk polling across the city, where people queued up at the polling stations well before the gates were opened at 7 a.m.
The area which we stand is the richest in the whole of Tamil Nadu as a zone. But we have problems of water, sewerage and basic necessities in spite of being well-to-do. We don't get it. So the issues here have been basic, not national issues have been totally overshadowed.
Enthusiasm was writ large across the sections, age groups and of course the first-time voters.
Feels really good actually. I've been very excited to vote actually for the first time. So I hadn't got my voter's ID, so I did it very soon because I really wanted to vote. What youngsters expect is change, and only if we youngsters vote, then only the change will come further.
Tamil Nadu is known for high polling percentage. Even in 2014 general elections, the state recorded over 74% voting, well above the national average.
We as a group, all of us, we work towards getting the middle classes out to vote. So we have a federation of the OMR resident associations, which is this entire street, entire road of 25 kilometers, which is about 1,000 apartment complexes. So we all came together and said that the middle classes are normally neglected because we don't come out to vote in numbers like the lower classes where they are given money or whatever reason, but they do come out to vote. We don't come out to vote. So this time we said we have to come out to vote. I think that is the reason why Tamil Nadu's this year's numbers will be far higher, because the middle classes are coming out to vote.
Rajat Kane's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And for more details from Tamil Nadu, we'll go across to our correspondent Rajat Ken, who is joining us from Chennai. Rajat, how did the polling take place in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry today? Rajat, I think you are not getting our audio. I'll again repeat my question. How did the polling take place in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry today? Due to poor connection, we are unable to get through our correspondent at the moment. We have got the connection back with Rajat. Rajat, how did the polling take place in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry today?
Thanks, Priti. The polling in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry was fairly more or less similar as to what was last time around in 2014. Tamil Nadu has recorded 72% of the voting, while if we compare from 2014, it was nearly 74%. So there is not much of a huge difference, but there is a marginal difference. Whereas Puducherry goes, it also recorded nearly 78% of voting. Last time around in 2014, it was 80%. Now, these two states like Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, Puducherry is nestled along the coastline of Tamil Nadu. They are known for higher polling and which has surpassed numbers of the national average. Usually, national average has been around mid to early 60s, but these two states these are the states which actually defy the national average. So clearly the polling in Tamil Nadu was much higher than the national average, what perhaps it could be, but if you compare from the last time, it is slightly lower. However, there was enthusiasm among voters across all the sections, be it the age group, be it the class, be it locality. We covered roughly several stations of Chennai from the north, central and south. These are the 3 seats in Chennai for Lok Sabha constituency. And everywhere we could see crowds and crowds thronging at the polling station. In Sholinganallur, where we started reporting in the morning, the crowds had assembled before 7 a.m. when the gates were unlocked. So there was enthusiasm amongst people in Chennai to cast their vote. Smriti.
Thank you so much, Rajat, for joining us and giving us all those details from Tamil Nadu and Chennai and telling us about the latest voting percentage from there. Moving on, an estimated 61.84% of voters exercised their franchise in 14 constituencies of Karnataka on Thursday. Polling began at 7 a.m. in 30,164 polling stations. There is a direct contest between the Congress-JDS alliance and the BJP in the state.
14 Lok Sabha constituencies across central and southern regions of Karnataka went to polls on Thursday. 241 candidates were in fray with 224 men and 17 women. Among the constituencies, Bangalore North had the highest number of 31 candidates, while lowest number of candidates were in Hassan at 6.
It was, I felt really nice actually. Since this is my first time, I was a little over enthusiastic about it. So it's an exciting election because the future of India is dependent upon this, because we have seen a lot of changes since many years. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, we want a good government for the people. So because of that reason, because we are facing very problem. So we want a very good government. Good people should come. That's the reason.
Elaborate arrangements were made for free and fair elections.
Polling is underway on 14 Lok Sabha constituencies in Karnataka. Elaborate arrangements have been made. Over 90,000 police personnel have been deployed. More than 2.5 lakh polling personnel are there. 55 companies of Central Paramilitary Forces. There are flying squads and shadow teams to curb illicit cash and liquor. Last time the voter turnout in Karnataka was around 67%, and it is hoped that as the day progresses, the turnout becomes impressive.
Prominent contestants in the first phase included former Prime Minister H.D. Devagowda from Tumkur, his grandsons Prajwal Ravanna and Nikhil Kumaraswamy from Hassan and Mandya respectively, Union Minister Sadanand Gowda from Bangalore North, and senior Congress leader Virappa Moily from Chikkaballapura. Remaining 14 seats in the state will go to polls on April 23rd. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
While people queued up outside the polling booths, many political leaders also exercised their franchise. Congress's Sushil Shinde cast his vote in Sholapur constituency. Union Minister and BJP leader Nirmala Sitharaman voted in Bengaluru. BJP candidate from Girinagar, Tejasvi Surya, also cast his vote. Senior Congress leader and former Union Minister in UPA, P. Chidambaram, voted in Shivaganga constituency. Superstar turned politician Rajnikant cast his vote in Chennai. Actor turned politician Kamal Hassan also voted in Chennai. DMK leader Kanimuri cast her vote in Alvarpet in Chennai. BJP's Tamil Nadu State Chief Tamilisai Soundararajan cast her vote at Virumbakam. Former Prime Minister and JDS leader H.D. Devagowda and his wife cast their votes at a polling station in Hassan. Karnataka Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy cast his vote in Ramanagara. AMMK leader TTV Dinakaran exercised his franchise in Tamil Nadu. Filing of nominations for the fifth phase of Lok Sabha elections ended on Thursday. 51 constituencies spread over 7 states will go to polls on the 6th of May. Scrutiny of nominations will be held on Saturday. Monday is the last date for withdrawal of candidature. Voting will be held in 14 seats of Uttar Pradesh, 12 in Rajasthan, 7 each in Madhya Pradesh and West Bengal, 5 seats in Bihar, 4 in Jharkhand and 2 seats in Jammu and Kashmir. Meanwhile, campaigning for the third phase election is at a feverish pitch. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today addressed an election rally in Karnataka's Bagalkot. Prime Minister attacked the ruling Congress-JDS alliance in the state.
मजबूत सरकार क्या होती है वो देखना है तो दिल्ली की तरफ देखो और मजबूर सरकार क्या होती है वो देखना है तो बेंगलुरु को देखो। बीते 1 वर्ष से यहां नेताओं का जो नाटक चल रहा है वो खत्म होने का नाम नहीं ले रहा है और ये नाटक भी ऐसा है जिसमें इमोशन है, रिवेंज है और इमोशन तो रुकने का नाम ही नहीं ले रहा है। हर कुछ दिनों के बाद, हर कुछ हफ्ते में किसी न किसी रैली या प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में इमोशन बह जाता है।
Prime Minister also addressed an election rally in Gujarat's Amreli. In Gujarat, voting for all the 26 seats in the third phase will be held on April 23rd.
તમે खुश, देश खुश, तो नाखुश कौन? दुखी કોણ છે? ગુસ્સો કોને છે? પેટમાં કોના બળે છે? રડે છે કોણ? માથું કોણ કૂટે છે? ભાઈઓ બહેનો, તમને આ દેશની સેનામાં ભરોસો છે કે નહીં? એના પરાક્રમમાં ભરોસો છે કે નહીં? આ કોંગ્રેસ વાળા નથી.
BJP President Amit Shah on Thursday addressed a public rally in Chhattisgarh and Maharashtra. While addressing a rally in Chhattisgarh's Raigarh, Shah targeted Omar Abdullah. He said that there can't be 2 prime ministers in a country and Kashmir is an integral part of India and no one can isolate it from India.
ओमर अब्दुल्ला ने कहा कि हम कश्मीर के अंदर दूसरा प्रधानमंत्री चाहते हैं। मित्रों, एक देश में 2 प्रधानमंत्री हो सकते हैं क्या? होना चाहिए क्या? मैं बूम लगा लगा कर 10 दिन से पूछ रहा हूं राहुल बाबा को कि राहुल बाबा, ये 2 प्रधानमंत्री का जो स्टेटमेंट आया है उस पर आपका रुख स्पष्ट करो, मगर राहुल बाबा कुछ नहीं बोल रहे। राहुल बाबा, कान खोल कर सुन लो, अभी तो मोदी जी की सरकार है, सरकार फिर से मोदी जी की ही आने वाली है, मगर हम सत्ता में नहीं है तो भी जब तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी का एक भी कार्यकर्ता के शरीर में प्राण है, कश्मीर को हिंदुस्तान से कोई अलग नहीं कर सकता, कोई अलग नहीं।
Meanwhile, Congress President Rahul Gandhi on Thursday addressed an election rally in Gujarat's Junagadh. While addressing the rally, he said that if the Congress comes to power, there will be a separate budget for farmers.
जैसे ही चुनाव जीतेंगे भाई और बहनों, दो बजट बनेंगे। एक नेशनल बजट बनेगा, पार्लियामेंट हाउस में एक नेशनल बजट रखा जाएगा, और दूसरा किसानों का स्पेशल बजट बनेगा। हिंदुस्तान के हर एक किसान को साल के शुरुआत में ही बताएंगे, देखिए आपको इतना बीमा का पैसा मिलेगा, नुकसान होगा तो इतना फायदा मिलेगा, कॉम्पनसेशन आपको यह दिया जाएगा, एमएसपी आपकी इतनी बढ़ाई जाएगी, आपके जिले में इस प्रकार का फूड प्रोसेसिंग प्लांट लगेगा, स्टोरेज के लिए आपको यह फैसिलिटी दी जाएगी। पूरा का पूरा हम साल के शुरुआत में हिंदुस्तान के हर किसान को बता देंगे।
Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav on Thursday filed his nomination papers from Azamgarh Lok Sabha seat. The SP chief was accompanied by BSP National General Secretary Satish Chandra Mishra. The SP chief said Azamgarh is the Karm Bhumi of Samajwadis and exuded confidence that the people will continue to repose their faith in him by giving him blessings and support. Akhilesh Yadav is seeking election from the seat won by his father Mulayam Singh Yadav in 2014 elections and is pitted against Dinesh Lal Yadav of the BJP.
समाजवादी पार्टी, बहुजन समाज पार्टी आगे ले जाएगी, गठबंधन आगे ले जाएगा। बीजेपी को कम से कम बताना पड़ेगा कि उन्होंने दिल्ली और उत्तर प्रदेश की सरकार से क्या काम कराए हैं। तो हिसाब किताब 5 साल का नहीं, 7 साल का हिसाब किताब क्या है वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को देना होगा।
Union Minister and BJP leader Menka Gandhi on Thursday filed her nomination papers for the Sultanpur Lok Sabha seat. The Union Minister for Women and Child Development performed a puja at her residence before filing her papers along with senior party leaders. She later addressed an election meeting at Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Park and exhorted the people to cast their votes in large numbers. Meanwhile, Samajwadi Party nominee Poonam Sinha, wife of actor turned politician Shatrughan Sinha, on Thursday filed her nomination papers for the Lucknow parliamentary seat from where Home Minister Rajnath Singh is seeking a re-election. Accompanied by SP MP Dimple Yadav and Shatrughan Sinha, Poonam filed her papers as the candidate for the SP BSP RLD alliance in the seat, which goes to polls on 6th of May. And some more developments. India has suspended the trade across the line of control with Pakistan from Friday. The Home Ministry has issued an order in this regard. The decision was taken as the government received reports from the probe agencies that the LOC trade route was being misused by elements from the neighbouring country to smuggle illegal weapons, drugs and fake currency. The government said that a stricter regulatory and enforcement mechanism is being worked and the issue of the reopening the trade routes will be revisited once they are implemented. The LOC trade at present is conducted through 2 trade facilitation centres located in Salamabad in Uri of Baramulla district and Chakandabag in Poonch district. This trade takes place 4 days a week and is based on barter system and zero duty. The Officers and Employees Union of the grounded Jet Airways on Thursday sought government intervention to avert a Kingfisher-like collapse of the carrier. Alleging some motives behind the series of developments at the carrier, Jet officers also demanded a CBI probe. About 800 Jet employees and their families held a march near Parliament House in New Delhi on Thursday, blaming the government for failing to rescue the airline. The cash-strapped airlines on Wednesday temporarily shut all its domestic and international operations after failing to receive a bailout of about 983 crore rupees from its lenders as part of a rescue deal agreed in late March. Meanwhile, the Bombay High Court on Thursday refused to intervene in the Jet Airways crisis, saying it cannot direct the government and the Reserve Bank of India to rescue a sick company. A Delhi court on Thursday dismissed the bail plea of Christian Michel to celebrate Easter with the family. An alleged middleman arrested in the Augusta Westland chopper scam had sought 7-day interim bail to celebrate Easter with family. Michel is in custody and is being probed by both the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI. Special Public Prosecutor appearing for the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate said if Michel comes out on interim bail and makes some statement relating to the case, it would derail the investigation. His lawyer argued that since the charge sheet has been filed, there is no point of tampering evidence. The Enforcement Directorate had issued a supplementary charge sheet against Christian Michel and others on 4th of this month. The agency had in December arrested him after his extradition from Dubai. And that's all we have for you in this edition of News Tonight. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.